Hey everyone, welcome to my blog, The Winding Road. Today, before I go on to plotting, I just want to summarise some of the main points that I mentioned in the last few videos regarding characterisation. Okay, so your character is the reader's way into your novel. They need to be emotionally involved with your characters. So make sure you do an awful lot of background on them. Do a character profile and make sure that you weave in your characterization into the novel. Don't have huge blocks about their physical appearance or their background. You're better to weave it into the story as you go along. Make sure that your descriptions are clear so that the reader can get a good idea of what your character looks like and the type of character that the type of person that your character is. So make people watching your hobby. It's so important, and it will really help you as you go along. Also, you have to ask yourself whether you're going to write in the first or third person. The first person I did in my first novel, Flick, and it means that it's very immediate. You're right in there with the main character, and people can empathize and get to know him or her really, really well. However, if you're writing from the third person, which is what I'm writing in this present novel, it means that you can give the viewpoint of different characters and switch from one character to another, which gives quite a broad and varying scope to the novel. So it's up to you. Both have pros, both have cons, I suppose. But both work really well if you have a good story. Make sure that your character has a conflict or a problem to overcome. Otherwise, you don't have a story. And by dealing with that problem or conflict, they go on an emotional journey. So by the end of the novel, when that conflict or problem has been solved, you can see that they themselves have grown. Okay, so you don't just have a main character, you have lots of different characters. Try not to have too many characters because it becomes quite confusing, especially to the reader. You're better off when you're looking through your novel saying, what characters do I need, what characters do I not need? So you're going to have your main character. More than likely you're going to have some sort of villain. Usually though now, the villain isn't all bad. If you look at TV or if you look at movies that are out there now, some villains you can see why they've become villains. Maybe they had a traumatic childhood, maybe something went wrong in their lives, maybe they feel unloved. So we can actually see that, especially in modern day novels and TV programs and that the villain isn't all bad. They're still a villain, but they're not all bad. There's a reason for why they do what they do. And I think that gives a sort of a depth to the characters that is really, really needed. It's like your heroine or hero. They're going to have their faults as well. And we all do. So the more realistic you can make your characters, the better and more realistic that your novel will be. Okay, so your secondary characters are really as important as your main character and your villain, in that you should give a good character profile. You might not need to have it as in depth, but you need to know your characters really well. And although these secondary characters might not necessarily have a viewpoint, they will, from their reactions and actions, they will have an impact on how the main character acts. So that's really important as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there with characterization. If you want to go to my website, www.geraldinemee.com, what you'll find on my blog is a character profile, one that you can print off or one that you can copy down. I use it myself all the time, and I think it's really, really helpful when creating my characters. Remember that your characters have to be as realistic, as interesting, because the reader is going on an emotional journey with you. And at the end of the novel, they have a vested interest in this novel as well. They want things to work out for your protagonist. And you need to involve them as much as possible through that story so they are on a high, like your character, by the end of it. So, until the next time when I'm doing plotting, enjoy the journey, enjoy the writing. See you soon. Bye bye.